Yes, hello. A very beautiful morning to you, viewers. It's another Friday, and you know how we say, thank God, it's Friday. Yes, we have quite a lot coming from our dailies today, quite a lot topping the news this morning. And we've been having this, tantrum back and forth with the electricity tariff. People are not finding this funny. This is going to make our discussions this morning. And of course, we have other issues. The student loan be a lot. We'll be having a student joining us later on the show today. How do they feel about this? And what's your thoughts on this as well? And of course, insecurity has been everywhere as well. Kidnappings, killings. These are some of the issues that will make our discussions today. But like I said, on a lighter note, today is Friday, and of course, we know on Friday, that thing that comes with Friday, the ease. I can't wait for work to close. It's weekend. Let's have fun. Yes, my name is Princess Cassie, and this is Wake Up Nigeria on SRTV. You're welcome and good morning to you. I already have my team seated. Yes, we have Abuja already seated, and I can see a Blessing and Debbie there. And of course, we have our very beautiful, gorgeous, the African Queen, Princess from Edo. Good morning, beautiful women.
Good morning, Princess.
How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
You're smiling as if you won a jackpot. But this one, when the electricity
Yeah,
tariff is killing everybody, why are you laughing like that? What happened?
and Nigerian, I'm suffering and smiling.
Anyway, how is Edo today?
It is fine. The weather is great.
Okay, how you post eyes your how do you call them your deputy governor? Hope una never finally crucify the man.
Why they talk like say guarantee we do? Yeah, it's just a process. If they accuse you, they've given you a platform to defend yourself, and it's a process. So it should defend himself. When they did the officer, I was in there, so I
Anyway,
look
we
kind of
hope that it will stay true. I have my reasons for saying that. Maybe later on the show, I'm going to tell you. And we also have our beautiful ladies from Abuja, Blessing and Debbie. How are you, ladies, today?
You see,
Okay, maybe they are not ready yet, and we know that we have Daddy Chris. Good morning, sir.
morning. Una no wan introduce me na only una women I go soon leave. No worry. One, two things
No,
is
sir.
against me. One,
I
I am old, and number two, I'm the man. So wanna do me,
Daddy,
wanna
Daddy
direct
Chris,
me.
no dey find my trouble. Don't stop saying oh, stop it,
Ah,
sir. No dey find my trouble,
I
oh.
forget say princess dey on the show today. Anyway, Abuja they are here.
All
I'm
right,
good.
Abuja, beautiful women. Good morning. How is Abuja today, and how is Wike today?
Mm, Weekend. Okay, so Abuja is cool. Last night it rained in most parts of Abuja, so Abuja is cool this morning. And as for Wike day as a day, there's some news breeze in the air that he has bought 15 buses,
15.
15, 15
Just
buses
15.
for
One
FCT
fine.
to ply Asokoro and Maitama. Let me borrow Daddy Chris words. What a show of shame.
In FCT.
Ah,
Wait. Let me get something right, Blessing. So the buses moved from Meitama to Asokoro and Asokoro to Meitama.
Just that
Yes,
agrees.
yes.
No, now we don't. People living in Asokoro and Meitama, they're already having cars now. These are the
Cars.
high growth areas. We should be focusing on Yanya, Kubwa,
Buhari.
Lugbe,
this might be a
Wari,
test
and
run now,
all that.
ladies. This is a test. What is coming? Eh?
No. You're supposed to start with the Igbo, not the high bro Sahebo area. I don't think there's anybody that will go and rent a house in Asokoro and Metama that does not have a car, sir.
I
Do you
agree.
know the house trend there? So why are we having public buses there? Anyway, good also because we know that if you're a stranger and you're going to Metama or Asokoro, you don't have a car, sometimes it's actually very difficult to navigate these places because public vehicles do not go to these places. Anyways, a good one. Congrats to them. And then we have quite a lot. We'll be joining. A young lady will be joining us, a law student, final year, all the way from the University, Abrusali University at Boma. And of course, she is the vice president the National Association of Delta State Students on the student loan. She'll be joining us later on the show. And of course, also we have the Commissioner for Health. He's saying something, but I really want him to come on air and say it, so I won't say that here. Anyway, this is Wake Up Nigeria. We're going to kickstart with the newspaper. We have quite a lot already coming from our national papers this morning, and Abuja will help us to do that right away.
Okay, so as usual, we'll start with the punch. And the big story here says 12 states plan power projects. Anger spreads over tariff hike. We have states demonstrate electricity act act seek NERC approval to float regulatory bodies commercialize power. Kanu says power company 90% completed. Lagos, Nasarawa, Kebbi confirmed talks with private sector partners. We also have EFCC's top service of charges on Binance chief. FIRS alleges. And by the bottom left, we have Goni Adams ready for Igboho's 500 million naira legal battle. And that's coming from his aide. You can find that on page 7. And we have in red here how I gave birth on Lagos BRT woman. We also have debt servicing GOPS, Ondo, Oshun, two others allocations, and that's on page 21. And by the top, we have manufacturers lose 1.5 trillion naira to FX crisis in 6 months. FG to issue domestic dollar bonds June. That's on page 21. We also have 141 terror cases, 214 kidnappings recorded in 8 weeks. That's coming from the IG. I can find that on page 10. Kanu government charges Ganduje wife with $413,000 over 1 billion naira bribery. These are all the stories we have on the Punch this morning.
We have quite a lot also coming from the punch, but I already saw coming. This electricity tariff hike. We know that is going to cause a lot of chaos, and of course, people will say no to it. But how are you taking it in Edo, Princess?
There's no power in the first place. There's no power. Talk less of the. There's no power. Generally, there's no power. So those using prepaid meter, I think to even be a little better for them. But the ones that are on estimated billing, now that there's no power, whether they don't have, they are going to face the brunt of it. Then the ones on estimated billing, at least your meter, you don't even have power, so your card will not burn, the meter is not reading, So it's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's biting hard on businesses. Those people who need power. In short, most businesses need power to work. The people, the ones that sell on the road, they need power to chill their drinks, chill their stuff. It's not funny.
Anyway, the problem, me, I'm even thinking at this point, I don't know, me, I've been using, for instance, in Abuja, I'm used to, prepaid, but here in Delta State, my mother's house, we're doing estimated billing. And so I'm thinking that at this point, estimated billing is even better if you ask me why, because look at the tariff, the hike. And of course, then when we were buy, I could buy maybe 5,000 and I would get like how many units now? I can't remember. But now with this new rate, I bet you before 2 3 days, that's if you're using all your maybe your ACs, your water heater, and your electric cooker, that money will be gone.
One
Even
And
thousand
so,
is
water.
like 3 units. 1,000 is like 3 units now.
oh my goodness, 1,003 units.
Three,
You
yes.
see why I said you see why I said estimated billing is as if that one will favor us, because at least you can use everything in the world. And then when they bring this, of course, now, you cannot have like 10 ACs, unlike in Abuja, when if you're in the room, you have to turn off this AC for this one, so that you're just, you're just watching how you use the light. If you're in the room, even at night, you have to turn off the light if your TV is on, to give you that, yes. If you don't do that, before you know, the thing will just, as if something is actually, someone is using it with you. But the thing is that I think at this point, I saw that labor movement yesterday that you actually are saying no to it. And we do hope that maybe at some point they will actually come out, with their, to speak more than that. Nigerians cannot take it. I don't think it's not feasible anywhere where somebody will buy 3 units for 1,000 naira. And that means even if you buy up to like 20,000, it won't last
20,000.
you up to it won't last you up to 1 week. I don't know how people are supposed to survive. And don't forget that a lot of schools, maybe private schools, hospitals, they run this, and then they are going to put all the bills for this, for people, patients, or their customers. So that is where the problem lies. And I'm happy also that yesterday the labor, organized labor, and other, stakeholders, other what's it called, or experts are already saying that it's not feasible here. We can't do it because in the first place, no light. If it's a country you have lights, maybe 90% up to a day, then you say okay, it's fair enough. It's not even fair enough. It's not working, and we can't go with that. And also, we have a story here as well that says, we know that, I know Ganduje, Ganduje, I already saw that coming with, the new governor. They've always been two parallel line. And so me, I know at some point he's going to face the law for all he has been doing and all that. We know that they already have beef. One thing I know with Kanu is that it's not basically about being from different parties. I think it's about also they had personal issues. And Princess, what do we do about, politicians? Let's leave the office now. Let's leave, the fame, the power. It's just as if when you have your personal beef with somebody, and at some point you are now a god over them for a period of time. Now you tend to hold them accountable, not because you want to do it sincerely, but because you just want to punish these people. How do you feel about politicians doing this, even before we look at other headlines?
It's a human factor. It's not just politicians. It's a human factor. People are just like that. Once you give people power, and they've not developed themselves to a level of maturity, they will want to use that power to punish whoever they feel they can or oppress. So it's just so visible with politicians, but it happens in every sphere, even among friends, even in schools, even in secondary schools. So it's just a character flaw that they have as people, not because they are politicians. It's just who they are. Yes.
Anyway, there's a story here as well that says, blessing, that says 141 terror cases, 214 kidnappings recorded in 8 weeks. This is coming from the IG.
You
What
know,
do we not do with insecurity at this
it,
point?
it's not
I'm
shocking
tired. Mm.
because this we've been having every day. We have cases of kidnap and here and there, Kaduna. In short, as we move on, we'll see that today again. So it's not shocking that this is happening. And the what is shocking is that the people who have sworn to govern us, they are not concerned because they live in highbrow areas with tight security. Their children are not here, they are not schooling here. Imagine the case of the 3 students that were kidnapped last week in Calabar in school in their hostel. Their children are not here, so they are not concerned. I don't think they are concerned at all. This is just for them, it's normal. I just feel like when they hear that people are kidnapped, they say, "Oh, it's one of those things." They really do not feel the pain of the masses. They don't know what we are going through, and this number will increase. This report that he gave, I'm not sure it covered what happened, what we are
Today.
going to take this morning. So it's going to increase as long as they just waive these issues, they don't take it seriously. I think their primary concern should be security, to make sure that lives are secured, but that is not the case. Now, if we look back now to the pupils in Kaduna. We got a number. We got 137 rescued. The teacher died. They said 5 were hospitalized, and just 131 were handed over to
Their parents.
the governor at the said time. And but when we took that news, we got that 287 were kidnapped. And after that day, a few days later, 87 were kidnapped. So now just 130 something came back. What happens to the rest? Now I've not seen anywhere what they are saying, if discussions are on, or if they just forgotten about those ones still in captive. So the government, they are really not concerned. They'll just come out Easter day, they'll come and give us speech. Salah is coming, they'll give us speech. When Christmas comes, they'll give us speech. That's all they do. I don't think there are any actions that have been put in place to really curb insecurity in Nigeria. If they are serious, they will get them.
The blessing, I think another thing is, if the maths is not adding up with the people that they stated were kidnapped and the ones that they released, if the maths is not adding up, then that means that the initial figure released was not correct. Because if you had to pay ransom or you have to make some negotiations and they release 100 and something to you and you are just okay, that means that you are actually done with that business. That business is over. So it means that the number they gave us initially of people that are kidnapped is not
It's
correct.
not correct.
If the mass is not adding up, then that means that they are using it to do politics. They are playing hanky with the figures. Because
That's
if you
another thing.
yes, because you cannot collect you cannot say 200 plus was kidnapped. You made proper arrangement for their release and they release them to you, and the remaining change you cannot account for it and you just forget their lives, for
Nothing.
God's sake. Yeah, so it means that the number did not add up. Perhaps it was a political arrangement or something. The numbers are not adding up, and as far as they are not being concerned about getting them back, that means they are done with that contract. Perhaps that other figure is a ghost figure or something. So that's my opinion.
Princess, I think I agree with you. Since we now have middlemen now working for us, since the security agencies are not able to do these things, and we have some
Yeah.
specific people coming as the middlemen, those that are very friendly, those that kidnappers cannot kidnap or kill, according to Kuka. The people who are doing paddy with your kidnappers, with your bandits. Go and ask them. Don't ask me question. So maybe when you tell people 200 and something were actually kidnapped, and then 180 something released, and apparently a ransom was paid for this, all this 200 or something, that means somebody actually did take part of it, and of course just brought the actual number that was actually. And but bless Princess, don't forget also that in the time of Chibok, we had the same issue as well, that they were being released gradually, bit by bit, and up to now some of them are still missing, right?
Yes, Leah
Leah
Shebu.
is still missing.
Till today, no news about Leah.
It's quite sad. Anyway, let's go quickly to the next newspaper we have, except of
Okay.
course you have another story on Punch you want us to look at.
No, no. The Guardian. The big story on The Guardian says legacy of international tourneys. How hosting mega events fail to catalyze infrastructural developments. That story is on pages 4 and 5. We also have a story that says slain soldiers' arms and ammunition in Okwama still missing, military says. That story is on page 26.
Okay, and so let me go to that story, and which paper is that?
Guardian.
Okay, is it Guardian? I'm seeing the Friday here
Yeah,
on the screen.
it's Guardian. Slain
Okay, that
soldiers,
is, go ahead.
ammunitions. Slain soldiers' arms and ammunitions in Okwama still missing, military says. And that's on page 26. Then 41 killed, 222 kidnapped, 88 million naira ransom paid in Kaduna, Niger group laments. That is on news page 27. Naira affirms as CBN auctions 652 billion naira OMO bills at 21%. Electricity tariff hike in crosshairs as opposition intensifies. News page 6. Then we have EFCC to arraign Bobrisky for 180.7 million. Tinubu task ECOWAS backs direct election. Then Mo Abudu joins International Emmys Board, vows to champion African stories. That's on news page 7. Police ignore court order on remand of Lagos businessman. That's on Metro page 8. Navy arrests 14 oil thieves, seizes over 200
Hello, Princess, are you there? Or is it my network that is having issues? Princess, can you hear me? Okay, I think my network is the one with the issues here. But anyway, I really, if you can hear me, I really want to say a big congratulations to Mo Abudu. You know, Media Mogul Mo Abudu, CEO of Ebony Life Media, has been appointed the board of directors of the International Emmys. And this is something that is, I would say, congratulations to Mo. I'm really happy. You know, we're happy when Black women win. We are happy when women are doing stuff. We already know Mo. She has been she has been, normally in life, I say I don't like having, role models. I don't look up to people, but I admire them. But I don't want to do or die is this person, because I know you can't imitate them 100%. So I'm quite happy that Mo is somebody I've always looked up to in the industry, talking about journalism. And so I'm quite happy that she has been appointed as a board of directors in the International Emmys, and she has vowed. She has said she's going to campaign for indigenous movies. Our movies, is not. I believe that our movies should not be limited alone to our culture, our environment alone. So it's high time. If you go to Netflix, how many more of our movies can you see there? And so I think it's a good one, and I'll be happy if she can really do that, because we have unique people telling amazing stories from this part of the world in filmmaking. So congratulations to Mo. We are happy that she has been appointed. And Daddy Chris, welcome,
Yeah,
welcome,
I'm here
welcome.
because I can see it's like you are deserted. I say, let me join you.
And
Where are
yes,
your
I am,
team?
but we are capable as well.
Yes.
There's a story here, Daddy Chris, I want you to even speak on, since you're here. Slave soldiers, arms, ammunition in Okoma still missing, says the military. Now they are saying that up till now the arms are still missing. But we know also, sir, that like the community has been ravaged. The community has been brought down. So how do we even, where do we go from here? Where will you go and start looking for these arms when you've already destroyed everywhere in the community? That's the question we're asking, and people are even missing at this point. The residents, we don't see them, we have not heard from them. And what do we do at this point? And I'm happy also, like I said yesterday, that the Chris, that the traditional the Robo UPU heads are meeting with the army generals today in Asaba, their headquarters in Asaba. And so that meeting is slated for 2 p.m. today. Let's just wait and see what happens. But this is a statement from the military this morning, Daddy Chris.
Well, first, let me join you to congratulate Mo for that wonderful thing. And I heard you saying how many of our movies are on Netflix. My anger is why Netflix. You understand? Is it not high time we have our own Netflix? I don't. Maybe maybe something we should take from Mo is she did it on her own. She didn't believe. She wasn't afraid of anything. She didn't follow how they used to do it. She did her own thing. And today, let me put it this way: Netflix didn't copy from anybody. They did their own thing. Today they are there. Why can't you, having the second biggest or largest industry in the world, have your own? Why must we struggle to be? You see, this is something Malcolm X said. He said, deep down, even the shame has been taken off us, but deep down, our desire to be loved by the white man remain a problem to us. That is number one. Then number two, let's talk about this Okoma people. Okoma has been a disaster. Well, like more truth will unfold. You said we should wait today to hear what it is. So I'm trying not to open my mouth too wide because anytime I open my mouth on Okuma, it's always a disaster because I think I always offend people. Otherwise, the question asked have never been answered. I hope the UPU people meeting with them will answer that. You're telling me that ammunition are missing. People are dying in the bush. You're not talking about that, talking of bloody ammunition. What do we do with ammunition when people are dying? Why don't they address the issue of the humanitarian crisis right now? Snake biting people. Is the ammunition bigger than the Nigerian people dying? What kind of human beings are we? How can we be talking of people dying ammunition or these stupid things when thousands of people are displaced, they are in the bush, we don't know whether they are dead, and we're talking about ammunition. Thank you very much. I'm not interested in ammunition. Bring the people back.
Anyway, there's a story here. We've already talked about, ransom and all that, but there's this story here that says 41 killed, 222 kidnapped, 88 million ransom paid in Kaduna Niger group laments. You see, Princess, this was the issue we were just saying the other time. Like, I boils down to what you said. Funny enough, do you know our governors, they have a way of, deceiving the people, saying, like, I remember then in Kaduna, the governor was saying no ransom was paid. The president did say the all hands would be on deck, the security charged the security chiefs, and before you know, the people came out from the blue. So I'm thinking that how come? And people were actually asking, and the man, I remember then the man was very angry. He made a statement like, I don't know what's wrong with Nigerians. People were missing now. The people are here. You're going to ask us how these people were released. No, there's no need for that. The people are here, so we should be happy. And so I think if it's a more developed country, you're going to explain that kind of statement. That means because you're supposed to brief the press, brief the people what actually happened, how they were rescued, not just telling us, okay, people went missing and these are the people, and we should be happy, we should be okay with that. Anyway, we're not going to go back to this ransom and issues, but let's look at Bobby Risky's case. Women. Bobby Risky has been trending since yesterday. Of
Yeah, he
course,
was
he has been
arrested yesterday
he
afternoon.
has been arraigned. We know that he has been, now it's EFCC saying that for naira mutilation. Yesterday, I did saw a trending video. But Princess, let's be very sincere. I am not, of course, I am not interested in Bobrisky, but if it's that, don't you think a lot of people would have been arrested or arraigned by now? The rate at which we see people throwing money around in parties, we see people abusing money. When you go to parties, especially in this part where I'm in right now, a lot of people, a lot of young people, this we call them yahoo guys, they throw money, they match on money, they do whatever they want with this money. We have seen people, superstar, also lying down in their bed with money, smoking, throwing party in their homes. Why are they targeting Bobby Risky? I'm of the opinion that if you want to arrest Bobby Risky, if you want to charge him, let's charge him for something, not something that every other person is guilty of.
You
Bless him.
see, this Bobrisky's arrest, I feel, are these people afraid to say, Bobrisky, you are gay? She they
Yes.
said 14 years imprisonment for anybody who is gay. Are they afraid? Bobrisky is always online. Even yesterday, I went on and I stumbled on a video of him saying that, small see, I don't do small boys. You small boys, stop coming to my DM. I do billionaires, men who have money. This is a man openly declaring that he is gay. And the only thing you can pin to him is money laundering. Nigeria, why? Where did we go wrong as a country? Really? If there's anything that should be pinned on, but not even pinned, if there's anything that he should be charged for, it should be that he is gay and he has said it openly. So I don't understand this cutting around the corners. If they are saying that they cannot charge. I don't understand the money laundering really. I was really thinking that when I heard that Bobrisky was arrested, I was like, oh,
The first thing that came to my head was gay.
gay. And the
Until my
next thing I
brother
saw,
showed me
money
money
laundering.
literature.
How? So I feel like he has been picked up for the wrong reason. If you think that they can't go boldly and pick up somebody that yes want to try you, we have seen that this and that. The evidences are there. So what's happening? I really don't understand the money laundering clause to his arrest. Really,
Really, it's even me, I'm of the same opinion. Yesterday when we saw that, I don't know the name, Princess, if you can help me. When they arrest people, there's something they hold. I don't know the name of that thing. They hold, they will tell you their name, their number, and of course their offense or their crime. And so if you see,
Mutilation that was written on it.
yes, it's written what I saw that, and that is why I mean, we're media people, we're media house, and of course we're journalists, so we should talk with fact, and that is what I'm saying now. What is written there is money mutilation. And then we're not seeing that, it's the same thing. A video surface of him spray of her, or him spraying money here and there. And then we saw a lot of people also do the same thing. And but they've I've seen people do worse. If it's that one, let's be very sincere here. In as much as a lot of people want Bobrisky to be crucified for being gay or for being a cross dresser, it's fine, but I'm thinking that we should do things the right way. He's a human being as well. The law is the law. If you're charging Bobby Risky for this offense that we know that every other person in the country, if not
For me,
80%, are guilty of, then it's unfair as far as I'm concerned, Princess. Have you seen that news, Princess? Okay, I think we're having issues from Edo. She cannot even hear us. But like I'm saying, when you come to this part of the country, weekend, today is Friday for instance, now just go out, just leave, enter the streets, go to where they are doing parties, go to where they are doing weddings, funerals. You'll be shocked. You'll be shocked the amount of money they throw, the way people march on them, the way people behave. And this is not something that is secret to the security agencies. So we've seen also in Lagos big parties, even for the politicians, people where monies will be flying, where they abuse money. We've seen superstars, they come in their home, they lie down on top of money, they put them so much on their bed, throwing them up and down. And so, why have you not arrested these people? Telling us that this is the offense, and every other person is guilty of this offense. I think it's unfair. So, if we are charging Bobby Risky, it should be for the fact that he is gay or he is a cross dresser. Let's know the law, or let's know what to do. Anyway, as security agencies, he will be arraigned. Like today, they'll be taking him to the court. Maybe as the story unfolds, we know exactly what the security agencies are up to. But for now, I just think this is unfair, and I think things should be done right. Things should be done well. Anyway, we move forward once again to the next newspaper we have with us. Princess, can you hear us now? Okay, we cannot. Princess cannot connect to us. I bet she's having issues with her audio. But let's move quickly to the next newspaper because our guest will be joining us soon.
okay. Let's move to the Vanguard. And the big
Okay.
story here says tariff hike. NERC disagrees with discourse over coverage areas as FG earns 137 billion naira from hike. NERC pegs forex at $1,463.3 naira per dollar, despite naira gains. New tariff not likely to affect manufacturers. That's coming from one man. It's backdoor to general tariff hike. That's from consumers. And you can find all of this on page 20. By the top left, we have just a second. We have CBN Governor Cardoso headline Vanguard Economic Summit amidst Naira recovery, and that's on page 10. We have Okwama killings. Army recovers stolen weapons. Okay. Tinubu to Nigerians will bring inflation down, and that's on page 9. And by the bottom, we have insecurity. 537 murder cases in 8 weeks worrisome. That is coming from the IGP Egbetokun. UK increases minimum wage of immigrants by 48%, and that's on page 7. Um, One of the challenges toward peace today is
Okay, I think we're already having network issues with Abuja as well. And I saw a story here I really want to speak on. When we talk about River State as a state, River State, there's a story here I saw that Fubara plotting to obtain court orders to declare assembly illegal. Rivers APC. I think at this point, everybody in that house should be thoroughly, checked. I don't understand why they are dancing to the tune of Wike. Yes, Wike is a minister, and then you're supposed to work closely with the governor to making sure that the state moves from where it is now to another level, another stage. But we've seen so far that these people are toys in the hands of Wike. Most time they don't even listen to the governor. They are always working, moving to impeach, the governor. So I think the other day that Chris was saying that the governor is not saying anything. The governor does not. He's too calm and all that. And he did said yesterday that his calm simplicity should not be taken as foolishness. He did say that, and now we're saying that the APC Rivers is accusing him or alleging that Fubara plotting to obtain court orders to declare assembly illegal. For me, that's a good move because all the House have been trying to do for months now is to impeach Fubara. So I think Fubara also can go a step ahead of them. Yes, it's to me, I do you now. No one will do it in Nigeria. So I think as a governor, he has the higher power. And so at this point, if need be, declare the house illegal. Since they don't want to work for the state, they are working for the ex-governor that is now a minister at the federal level. So I think the whole house should be overhauled. Maybe that also will help the state. When they say that two elephants suffer, the grass suffer, the state has been in pause. That is the word. The state is not moving. They are just there watching these people display their madness. So I think at this point, Fubara should declare that house illegal so that let's know what to do with them. And of course, we saw a story here as well that say pardon allegation. Senate, not I, suspended Nigi. Akbabi replies Falana. That story is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. I don't understand. You're saying Senate. Of course, we know it's the Senate. I would have loved that Chris to throw weight on this, but it's not here. We know it's the Senate, but what is the crime? What is the offense? That is what Falana is saying. If you say somebody is being suspended or is suspended, then you should also tell us the reason why you suspended this person. You cannot just keep somebody away for 3 months, 4, 6 months, and you think everything is well. I said it before that this pardon issue, we are familiar with pardon in Nigeria, pardon issues. It's not news, but we know also that this will come and go. It's only painful that at this point we have somebody against the house. Otherwise, always been within them, against the outsiders, against the citizens, but now or against other arms of government. But now we've seen that even within the Senate is a divided house, one man against the rest, and he has been suspended for saying the truth. Even though Nigerians, we know that of course that was a wrong move. Falana is demanding that if you suspend Nigi, then tell us, give us proof, evidence that what he's saying is lie, contrary. That is all contrary to what he's saying. Give us the evidence. That is what Falana is saying. And then we're saying that no evidence, nothing. You just, I think the Senate are having too much, if you ask me. Too much power are given to these people. They are behaving the way they like. and at the end of the day, you just they just wake up and they do things. It's the same thing what we've been seeing with Wike and the River State saga, the River State scenario, where Wike wake up and he just do anything at all, and he gets away with it. So I think it's a very good move that Fubara wants to, Fubara is declaring the whole house illegal, since all their interest, all their effort is geared towards impeaching Fubara. So I think Fubara also should, be a step ahead of them. You can actually still say the whole house, it's declare them illegal. Let's start afresh, because we're seeing that they are not working for the interest of the state. It's not personal. It's about Wike. It's about Fubara. So the whole state house, the whole lawmakers, and of course Fubara, all of them need total overhauling in that state. Otherwise, the state will be stagnant for a long time. And then, talking about Senate, it's the same thing here. I see the same scenario here, where the Senate thinks they wake up, they do the things they like. And thank God for the likes of Falana that will wake up as well. Falana, I love Falana for one thing, the fact that he's always against these people, not for personal interest, but the law is the law. Like what I said about Bobby Risky now, you can't just crucify him because, okay, you feel you are scared to say you're gay or you're a cross dresser. The next thing you're trying to crucify him for offense that 80% of the people are guilty for. I just think that it's not right. And so I love Falana for the fact that he's not giving these people breathing space. He's always at their cases. It's a good way to go. If you're suspending Niggy, you say, okay, you've been suspended for 3 months. You should prove beyond reasonable that what is the reason. The man is accusing that you people utter this padding, or there's padding, these figures are not right, these are the figures. And then okay, if you want to prove that, okay, what you're saying is not right, there should be evidence. And that is what Falana has been saying for days now, for weeks now. And now we can see that Akpabio is saying he's not the one that suspend Nigi, is the house that actually did. Of course, you are the president, and if we're dragging, we should be dragging you as the president. It's just like Nigeria is not functioning well now. Everybody is calling Tinubu. Nobody is calling, Shetima, that is the vice president. So I think that our lawmakers, our senators, they actually the problems we have. I will keep saying it. Abuja, welcome back. There's a story here. I wanted to actually throw this tribal story to Edo, but she's no longer here. Okay, there's a story here that says Senate, not I, suspended Nikki. Akpabio replies Falana. Now, what's your take on that, Debbie? Let's start from you.
Let me reread it to myself again. Says,
There's a story here that says, I already read that for you. Pardon
yeah,
allegation, Senate, not I, suspended Nikki. That is coming from Akpabio, and that is to Falana, because Falana is saying that you cannot suspend him without, coming out to tell us, okay, you are accusing us that this is black, meanwhile this is white. So you need to prove to the world that he was wrong. This is this. You are not saying anything. You don't have the power to suspend him.
honestly, I don't even know what the Senate want us to do again. If they said, okay, as at last month, because now it's last month, they suspended Ningi. Now they're coming out to say they were not the ones that suspended Ningi.
No,
So,
I think you're getting it wrong. Senate, not I. Akpabio is
Saying
saying
he's
the
not
whole
Senate.
senators agreed to suspend Ningi,
So he's
and
not
not
part of
him.
him,
No,
part
he's
of
saying
them.
not him alone. That senators. That's what he is saying.
so it's a
Blessing, now
combined.
what's your take on this, Blessing? Because you
Okay,
seem to
I
understand better.
yes, I
Yes.
think um I agree with Akpabio, but then again, he is the head of the house, and so he cannot say that he would not collect the backlash directly. Of course, he's heading the house, and so anything that comes should come to him first. If Ningi was suspended and he was on the seat as the president, then he was in support. For me personally, whenever I say Ningi was suspended, I say Akpabio suspended Ningi. Because for me, yes, he did. He was in support of it. He stood up for him to be suspended as the president of the house. What did he do, really? So I stand with Falana. I stand with anybody that says Akpabio suspended Ningi, because as the president, what did he do to stop his suspension? If they say that what Ningi said was wrong. I remember that we had a guest here some weeks ago that was talking about this padding issue. He said just Ningi spoke up, right, in the house. Now, if you decide to suspend Ningi, it means you're suspending his constituency from the house. You're saying a group of people should go and sit down for 3 months. They should not partake in what is happening in the house and all of that. It was a wrong move, really. Whatever Ningi did, or whatever they saw that he did that did not align with them, should have been tackled in the house. Maybe it should have been removed from whatever in-house, but it shouldn't have been that Ningi go home and sit down. Your constituency should not be part of decisions for 3 months. That's too much. And so again, I hold Akpabio responsible as the president of the house. This thing, there is hierarchy in the Senate for a reason. And so if under his watch, under his nose, Ningi can be suspended like this, and they have no reason till today, I don't know what's happening about the padding. Okay, if you say you did not pad it, can you tell us how this and that? So there's nothing they can say as far as I'm concerned. Akpabio is the head of the house, and so he should be held responsible
You know,
for whatever.
I agree. I agree with you, Blessing. I'm thinking that, you can't tell me that you are not, I'm not I. Because when the house usually is a house, when they raise a motion, you have to, okay that motion. And then, as a president, I think you have your own say as well as a president. And I think there is nothing that will happen in that house without the president, not being aware of. And then we have also, like you said, a full constituency, a group of people in this country are being sidelined, are being shot at for a whole 3 months in the name of suspending, Ningi. And we know that you asked something, Blessing, that you don't know what is happening with the padding issue now. But I said it here before that we have seen cases like this. We're only seeing this that is dragging because one of them is against them, right? And that is why the issue is still here. On the norms, when we talk about padding, it's always each time we have budget issue, we have padding issues. But it's always they are always standing united as a house. But now we have one against them. And that is why you see that they are angry that one is against them. And of course, Falana has taken it upon himself to make sure that things are done properly. And Falana has been dragging, accusing the not just Akpabio, but of course the Senate. But of course, we know that for you to get to the Senate, there is a head, and anything you want to do. For instance, SRTV, we have a head, the CEO, the manager, or a head. And if you want to address SRTV, you address the head. You don't address the whole house. You take it, you take your grievances to the head. Of course, I will pass the information to others. So Akpabio coming out to say, "Oh, I am not Senate, not I suspended Nigi," is a very reckless statement. We know that they did something wrong. After doing that, you still have the power. That is what I'm saying about Fallen River State issue as well. Because there's a story here, Blessing, that says Fubara plotting to obtain court orders to declare assembly illegal. That story is on page 12, and that is coming from the Rivers APC. And I feel like, a set of people just want to hold others to a ransom in a state or in a country. It is
I think
not
it's
a
the
good
right thing
thing.
to do, really. It's the
I
right
have said
step.
it that that is a very good move.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do. I feel like he has no breathing space at all, and because Wike is a very powerful man, most of the people at the assembly, they are on Wike's side. So for him to work to actually effect changes in the state, it will really be hard because there are roadblocks right, left, and center. So him declaring this, it's
The
just the
best step.
perfect thing to do at this time.
Hmm. I think A good one to Fubara. That's a very good move. Since you people don't want the guy to have breathing space, uh it's just a good thing to do, so that the whole river state know that there is no presence of political leaders. Let them all go and do something about themselves. Of course, I saw a story here as well, that says I saw a story here that says UK increased minimum wage of immigrants by 48%. Even if it's tomorrow, I'm going to throw this question to Daddy Chris. I want him to throw light on that story. And of course, there's a story here, a disturbing one, that says insecurity, 537 murder cases in 8 weeks, worrisome. And that is coming from IGP Egbetekon. That story is on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Of course, is worrisome. Not just the kidnapping, not just paying ransom, the people coming back, regaining their freedom. What of the ones who died on the process, the ones who have been killed on the process, the ones who did not return home to their loved ones, to their family? It is really worrisome. Just in 8 weeks, and that is 2 months, we are having 537 murder cases. And then imagine, 1 year, how many numbers will that amount to? And so it's worrisome to know that in just 8 weeks we're having 537 murder cases. It's really worrisome, and I'm happy this is coming from the IGP. Of course, they are the security heads. They know what to do. I can't tell them how best to do their job. We cannot tell them what to do. They are the security agencies. But I'm happy that this analysis or data is actually coming from him. And that means that since they have this data, even though we know that this might not actually be correct, there may be more than these numbers, but at least this will guide them on how to tackle insecurity. That is, if they even have the human, feeling, or they are, they have sympathies for Nigerians as a people. There's a story here, blessing, that says, can you hear me now, princess?
Yes, yes,
Hello,
I'm back.
princess. Okay, there's a
I'm here.
story
I'm
here that
here.
says, yes, there's a story here that says impeachment. Shaibu absent as panel fixes today for final adjournment, on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper.
He has said it before that he is no longer going to be part of the proceedings. I think he said that on Wednesday. That he's no longer going to be part of the proceedings. So, and they've been bringing various allegations that he leaked government secrets, financial misappropriation, many issues, and somehow, for reasons best known to him, he says he's no longer going to be part of that proceeding. They can continue with whatever they're doing. So he should be absent according to his word.
Hmm. It's getting really tougher in Edo, but let's see how that plays out. And there's a story here on Sport Decks of Vanguard that says Super Falcons ready to break Olympics jeans using South Africa. That is coming from Ajiba Day. Blessing, there's something I don't like when people begin to, I don't know, from the one, I've never been somebody that maybe I want to write exam, even though I know that I read so much, I've been studying, I'm going to pass. I don't used to, I see, how do you, there's a saying that don't count your chicken before they hatch, or something like that. And
Yes.
so I don't think, I'm not actually, I don't want to feel too excited about something until I'm done with them. And then this is coming from Ajibade, and he's saying Super Falcons ready to break Olympic jeans using South Africa. What do you think of that? What do you make of that statement?
Um, for me, I would just say this is Super Falcons already know that we have high hopes in them, that we trust their, their abilities. We know what they can do. They are really good players, and they've been making us proud, right? And this statement coming from Ajibade, I don't say they should hold on, because this football thing and the social media space. It wasn't really funny the last time during AFCON, the whole backlash from all the way from South Africa to Ghana to and all of
Cameroon.
that and all of that. I don't think we're ready to go to into this right now. So I feel they should hold on. Let's just rejoice when they
They
win the
find
match. Yeah.
Yes, I've said that before. Let's not start clapping and dancing. And at the end of the day, when something goes wrong, you don't know the face, how to face people, how to face the world. I'm not a fan of that anyway. I usually like to be calm. And maybe when there is need for that celebration, we start jumping. I might be saying it in my heart. I really want this. I pray for this. But not, trying to rub it on everybody's face. And at the end, something goes wrong. You are not able to face the same people. Anyway, let's quickly go to one more paper before we have our guest in joining us now.
Nigeria Tribune, updating Nigeria Tribune. So the big story there says electricity tariff. Senate to weigh in as NEF knocks federal government. Rider says Consumer Protection Forum gives NERC 72 hours to reverse hike. That's on page 3. Then we have Igboho sues Gani Adams over alleged defamation, demands 500 million naira damages. That story is on page 29. Another story on the Tribune says EFCC to arraign Bobrisky for alleged currency abuse. That story is on page 25. UCH resident doctors not part of 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. working condition from the president, say page 4. Then we have another story here. Ondo 2024. APC should not be polarized. Party chairman wants. The writer says, Aiyedatiwa submit form. I am ready for any form of primary, states Jimo Ibrahim. Then Eniko Mehi canvasses for Ondo South, backs okay. That story is on page 12 and page 30. We have Fubara rejects list of Labour's PDP caretaker committee, says it favors Wike's camp. That story is on page 3. And the last story on the Guardian is expectations high over Olubadan designate. May be seen today, the writer says, Ibadan elders CC to meet Ladija, other queen makers. And that story is on page 4. That's all the stories we have on the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Uh, there's a story here that actually caught my attention now. The very first story on the paper that says Fubara reject list of Rivers PDP caretakers committee says it favors Wike's camp.
Yeah.
Princess, people used to say that the Chris used to say Fubara doesn't talk, he's too quiet and all that. But we can see that for like 2, 3 days now, the man has been up and doing. I think there's a way you push somebody, there's a way you try to frustrate them. Maybe they try to, come behind closed doors to do everything to appease you, and then you keep pushing them. At some point, they will just have to know doing the right things or start reacting. Do you think that's what he's doing?
You cannot mix oil and water together. You can't mix it, even if you use it to cook soup. At a point, oil and water will separate. Is PDP. The other one, you're having APC, you're having PDP. It is politics. This is politics. Everybody has to be of one mind. In that River State, you can see that the House of Assembly, they are not patriotic. They are not looking out for the welfare of the citizens. They are not even doing what they are supposed to be doing as elected members of the House. All they seem to be doing is how to antagonize the government and all that. Now, you as a governor, you should be a seasoned politician, and you know the way the last election played out, where certain compromises, harsh compromises had to be made. So right now, coming in, from day one to come with his own game plan. With his own game plan. What he's doing now is just trying to manage, trying to struggle, trying to. You cannot mix oil and water together. So he has to be tough. He has to tough it out. So where on earth did the list come from that he's rejecting? You did not see it before. What's he reject? He did not see it before. Does he not have his own list? Why is his own people not on that list? Why are his own people not on that list? It should be tough. All this choiceless man, it should be tough, not messy after you are coming to cry on social media. You should be tough. It should be tough. It should be tough, or else they will just mess him up. It's
I think
politics.
they already did, the princess. They've been messing him up.
Ah,
Seriously.
yes,
That is
now
my opinion.
he should
They
wake up. He
already
should
did.
wake up. Now,
That
the
is the
list
right
should not
thing.
come out, and you not come and be saying it favors this person camp. Then that's not a tough talk. The list should not come out. It should. You are a governor. You should know if he does not know how to use power. If you come to those state, let them teach him how to use governor power. It should
I
not come out.
understand.
It should not come out because you have to govern the state, and you need people that will help you to work. So if you know that those coming from behind are not going to help you work, then it should not come out. I'm not saying you should not give opposition a slot or some slots, but you should have people that will help you build your state. So if the list is not going to help you, of course you should have known seen the content of that list before. So if the list is not going to help you, then there's no discussion. It should not come out.
Yes, being the number one man of the state, I think that's the way to
Yes.
go. Sometimes you just have to close this shit behind closed door. Don't even bring them to the open. Just
No,
take
no, no.
charge. Take charge as
Yes.
the governor. Fubara, that is what that the Christian, that is what Princess is saying, and we are saying that Fubara take charge. If you continue with this wicked throwing tantrum left and right, hey, I don't even know if that guy will survive another 1 year
Princess,
there.
princess, let's be serious.
Yeah.
Wike is not throwing tantrum. Oh. He's not
Really?
throwing tantrum. No. He's doing something. He's playing games. He's playing politics. And it is working. That is why Fubara is reacting. It's not tantrum. Tantrum is when somebody's making noise and making noise. Wike is doing something. He's doing something. So we should not call it tantrum. He's doing something. And it is getting to Fubara. So that means he's actually playing some serious games. So Fubara should wake up and not call it tantrum, and not bring out textbook when somebody's coming at you with a sword. You should meet him. You should match him. You should match him. You have the power now. You are the governor. Yes, he is a minister. He was there before. He has loyalists, but now you have the power. So he should. It's not that Wike is playing what he's playing. He's controlling what he's controlling.
Fubara,
Fubara
wake
should
up,
wake up.
wake up,
Wake
wake
up.
up. Nigerians say wake up. Abi Chris Daniel say wake up, wake up. Fubara, man up. That is the word. That is what Prince. If you don't know how to use power, come to Edo State where they teach you small like this. And of course, you know how to run a state. And that's another thing. That's another thing, contesting for specific positions or seats. You need to know that there are pressures, there are things that come with them, and so you should be prepared as well. Don't come and play a toy to somebody, or don't be fidgeting all the time. You're fidgeting when you hear Wike, you fidget. I think Fubara by now should move past that. And then I want you to throw your weight on this, princess. I wanted to ask you earlier that EFCC to arraign Bobrisky for alleged currency abuse. Let's be sincere, princess. We have people, all of us, we are guilty of that. A lot of people here in Nigeria, especially when we go to parties, when we go to clubs, you see people throwing money, pouring drinks and money, marching on them. And then the security agency have been seeing this. Why is it that they are holding, Bobby Risky accountable or holding him for this when we have a lot of people that have also done this in the past?
Well, I'm sure they have their eyes on him, and because other people have been doing it, does not mean that they have to start somewhere. I think in the east, when we saw, I think Obi Kubana, when he did his mom's burial and money everywhere, there was also some backlashes and other stuff. And I also saw that he's also arraigned for his money laundering activities. They are checking into it. That he didn't pay. He didn't sort out school meal properly. He has many issues. He has tried to lay low off social media space, but somehow he has many issues. And so, if they decide to wake up and do one of their work and they find him guilty on this count, let them start there. You should let Yes, there are many other issues. EFCC will not is not they are not the proper people to hold him for transgender. They are not the proper people to hold him for cross dressing. Now that EFCC has held him, let every other body that has something against him wake up. So let them just start from somewhere. So that means that if somebody else does it, let them pick on that person. Let us just start from
Wallahi,
somewhere.
princess, this is not fair, you guys. This is not fair on our Bobby Risky because you are laughing. It's not fair because I feel like okay, we already have our guest here with us. Ruth, you have to unmute your sound. Unmute your sound. Yes, so we can hear you. Uh, we'll talk to you now. But I'm thinking also that princess Bobby Risky, we know that there are a lot of issues, like you said, but please, EFCC, don't charge him because of, abusing money when everybody in Nigeria is abusing. Have you seen some people coming to buy things from your hand? They will squeeze the
It's
money
not
very
only
well from their pockets. So why
it's not only
are they
abusing
not being
money, oh.
arrested?
It's not only abusing money, oh. There's a money laundering charge against him too. There
Like
are
I
some other
said
charges.
earlier, princess, like I said earlier, when somebody is being charged, there's something they give to them to hold. I don't even know the name of that stuff. Let's be
That
sincere.
placard, that thing that they
That
write, yeah.
placard, yes. What is written there is what I'm telling you now. So we work by proof, what we see or what we hear. So at the end of the day, I'm just thinking that they should be fair as well. If you are charging this man, if you know you are angry with him for being a cross dresser or a gay person and all that, hold the bull by the horn. Not cutting corners like Blessing we say. Anyway, we have with us here Ruth Obianuju Joga. She's the vice president, National Association of Delta State Students, a final year law student. So we have with us and you know lawyer, very beautiful one at that. Good morning, Ruth. How are you today?
Morning. Thank you. How are you?
Well, fine. I sorry, we're not going to take your time because we know that you have exams now. Very soon you'll be going for your exam. So we're going to be quick with this, right? Yesterday we saw that the president did pass into, law, the student loan bill. How do you feel about this as a student?
Okay. First and foremost, um, I would like to, thank in the person Bola Ahmed for incorporating.
You need to
But we,
speak up so we can hear you. Your audio is not very loud.
okay, I'm so sorry about that. I don't know if it's better now.
Or maybe you increase the volume of your phone so we can hear you very well.
Okay, I don't know if it's better now.
Yes, it's much better.
Okay. I started off with appreciating the president for actually reviewing the Student Loan Act of 2023. And yes, before now, I had no idea that there was an act that covers up for student loan. But I had to look up and then see that there were provisions, but these provisions had several restrictions. And the restrictions in the previous provisions included the criteria, the management of the loan, included methods of application, repayment, and then recovery of the loans. And as at this point, the new bill, which was passed into law and signed by the president in the presidential villa, the covers up for all this limitation that the previous act had. Before now, there's always a limitation as to you have to have a guarantor, and this guarantor has to be in the civil service before you can access the government loan, which is the student loan. but that has been removed from the picture. And also, in the case whereby the parent has a loan that is yet unpaid, it does not affect the student from borrowing. It therefore means that you as a student, it is on you. You don't have to have a guarantor for this loan, but you have to fulfill the obligations that comes with processing for the loan. And then every other thing that comes with it, I would say it's a welcome development. And the student community, to
Okay,
a
I
large
think we have
extent, they are
network issues from
happy,
our
and
end
then
there.
they,
Ruth, can you
yeah.
hear us?
Yes, certainly I can.
Okay, she was just even explaining something very reasonable there. How to get. Go ahead, we can hear you now.
Okay, I'm so sorry for the break in transmission, please. I was stating the new act which was passed into law, the bill which was passed into law, it was repealed and reenacted. It was passed into law on the 3rd and signed by the federal government. It has advantages compared to the previous law that has been invoked. There's been an act for student loan. It's the Student Loan Act of 2023, and then this new act repealed, and it was reenacted to cover up for the lapse and lapses that the other act could not cover up for. It therefore means that as a student, you can personally go to incur a loan from the government for your fees, your tuition, and your upkeep within the period whereby you're in school. And it's an applaudable one. It's something that the student community look forward to. In as much as we know that, yes, let's not go into that yet. I know you would ask that question, but for starters, it's a welcome development, and we are happy that this new act was actually repealed. The old act was repealed, and the new act makes provision for some of the disadvantages that were in the previous act. Thank you.
Right, you did talk about, how easy it is now. It's very flexible for students to access this loan. But from what you've said so far, are you trying to tell us that there are no, disadvantages to this bill? It's just, advantages, accessing this very loan as a student.
Okay, I'll basically say for everything that has an advantage, there is always a disadvantage. But then on the brighter side, you look towards the parts in which the advantage should be more than the disadvantage. Yes, the advantage to this loan is that while schooling, you can apply for the loan, and then it'll be given to you. It's like the board which was set up, the board which was set up to cater for the loan, it's like a corporate body on its own. It can sue and be sued. So you as a student, you're a legal person, and then you can sue the board and you can be sued in case there is a breach or whatsoever. Now, this new act is an applaudable one. Like I said, the advantage to it is that as a student, you don't have to seek for a guarantor. Most of the times when you want to get loans from the bank and what have you, any financial institution, you are asked to get a guarantor, maybe somebody that is in the civil service or what have you. But as at this point, or consigning the loan or pertaining to the loan, you don't have to get a guarantor to acquire this loan. And then your parents' past debts, or whichever, if your parents are in debt or whatsoever, does not affect you from getting this loan as a student. And then also this loan runs for the period whereby you are a student, and then till 2 years after your youth service. It therefore means that after you've graduated and you've gone for the service, 2 years after, that is when the loan is required, payment is being required. But now my big question is, which leads to the disadvantage. In the country where we are in, the average Nigerian youth or students who gets to graduate from the university and then gets to serve, how long does it take for them to get a job, like a job? And now that is one of the disadvantage. Now, if you look to that aspect, after schooling, and then you get to incur loans to pass through the whole schooling process, and now you have to work. Most persons don't have a job. Most persons have been done with school for the past 4 5 years, and up till this moment, they have not secured a job. So, what is the plans of the government? How do they intend for students to pay back the loan when there is no employment opportunity as there should be?
Now, Ruth, you did say that I'm struggling to hear you. I think your network is not very strong. But you did say that you have up to like period of 2 years after graduating to pay this loan. Did I get you correctly?
Yeah, 2 years after the youth service, 2 years after
To
NYC,
to start paying or to pay off the loan?
to start paying.
Oh, to start paying. Well, like you said, one of the questions I was going to throw to you as well was that is that when in a country like you already said that a lot of people that graduated, even myself, so many years ago, was still here job hunting. A lot of people, they work from offices to offices on daily basis. They can't even get good jobs. There are no jobs anywhere. So how are these people supposed to pay back? And then also when we talk about the student loan, how easy it is, you think it will be easy for people to access this loan? We live in a country where that kind of how will I put it, Nigeria will say who know man. You know how it is when people, it's something that is meant to be very easy for people to access or to get. At the end of the day, you see that people begin to play God, for you to get there. So how do you think this will be easy for students to access this loan? How easy will it be?
Okay, that is one of the disadvantages I was coming to. Most often than not, for you to access any government grants, loans, and what have you, you have to have the right connection to get to that extent. But then, I think to the extent to which I had perused through the acts, it stated that um the minimum national spread of the loan is approved and disbursed in every financial year. That means that um, in every financial year, in every year, there is a quarter of the loan that is supposed to spread across. Now, my big question is, how do students access the loan? I know you asked the question, but then let me come up with another question. Would there be like a state office where students can different universities in each state can walk in and then maybe access the loan through that means? Because if it's only going to be like a federal structure, there would be an issue. I won't lie. If this whole student loan is going to have just a federal structure without a breakdown in maybe states, schools and what have you, then there will be a huge problem. I wouldn't like to say what I don't know as at this point. Who knows the government's mind? I don't know, but I think the way to go right now is the breakdown. There should be a state structure. It shouldn't just be for the national level, whereby it's just the federal level that controls it. There should be a state structure so that students can be able to access. And there should be like a caretaker committee that foresees to, aside from the board, the governing board that controls the whole board and you depositing the loan or getting the loan as a student from the federal level, sorry, there should be a state parastatal or structure whereby students can easily access from each state, each public facility or university in their various states level. I feel that's the way to go.
Anyway, I'll leave my team to ask your questions, but I still have more because we know that in Nigeria, are familiar with things that are supposed to be straight up and running. People who just come from their home angry, frustrating these students. The other day, some months ago, I went to Jam office. You needed to see what they are doing to student there. These are people that are being paid on daily basis, to attend to students. But when we got there that day, I went there for something else. I saw the way they were maltreating the students, shouting at them. And these are some of the issues we are talking about. So, Princess, I leave the floor open. Let's talk about the student loan.
Okay. I think that student loan, in my opinion, I don't think they will have state arms because we've seen federal government loans before. Like there's this scheme going on with the Nassau Bank, and there were youth and agricultural loans, and there were sites for it. On that site, the parameters to obtain the loans were already there. So once the quota is set and applicants go in, put in their details, once they put in their BVN and it approves, they'll tell you you've passed the first stage. You give you a link for the next one, and once you are done with it, immediately they credit your account and they now start their deduction. So if it has worked on that scale, if it had worked on that note, on that scale, it's also a federal thing, round the 36 states and capital. I think it should also work for students, because when you have to be dealing with persons one on one, that is where nepotism comes in. That is where they will now say that this institution is not getting enough, that one is not getting enough. But if all Nigerian students are given the platform, the same free hand to apply for the loan, just go online the way they did the agriculture and the youth loan, I think it will work. But on the other hand, where I saw that you have to go to certain offices to apply, I saw abuse of that particular scheme, abuse on a very large scale. People were disenfranchised and all that. But if it were like the way they did the youth own, once you enter your date of birth, your BVN, and it has crossed that particular age, automatically they will just tell you that you're not getting it. Once you already have an outstanding debt somewhere and your BVN is entered, they'll just tell you that you cannot access this, go and pay your loan in one other place and all that. So if that's kind of functional structure is set up, I think every Nigerian student will have equal chance to access this loan. But if we break it down, if we take it down to different places, a lot of people will not be able to access it, and there will be abuse. The system will crash. That is my opinion on how it should.
Now,
But how certain are we, Princess, that people are not going to hack into the system,
I was
using
about to say
people's,
that.
yes, if we do that.
You see, even if you leave it with human beings, offices, state offices, it is still people. There will still be abuse if there's going to be abuse. So it's not whether it's an online system. It's You can go do your research. Just Google on Nisal Bank, and you see many empowerment schemes that have been going on. Very many, and a lot of people benefited from it. I know a lot of people that benefited from it. I saw the process, and they got their monies. They just got their monies, and if we leave it with some people, I know what I'm saying. If you say, okay, Edo State, for instance, go to this particular place, then you will now start hearing that because I am not an indigene of Edo, that is why they did not give me. They gave to Edo indigenes more than other indigenes that other states, students of other states that are here. You start hearing that in different places, different institutions. So, while instead of us to focus on the negativity of things, or well, on like what we did not hack it, I think we even did national election, we still had issues. So, the point is a platform where everybody can have equal chance and access to it, where you will not come and blame one person for not accessing it. When you don't get it, you know you don't get it, and the reasons are there. You just lock up. You just know that I didn't meet the parameter. Or instead of you to have somebody to blame that because the man did not like me, or when I'm supposed to go to class, they kept me on queue, or I'm in AAU and the office is in Benin City. I have to travel from Ekpoma to Benin and I could not finish it that day. I have to look for where to sleep. I have to go and come back, the road, insecurity and all that. So let's not look at how we should always break everything down. The roads are not so good these days and all that. So if we can access money, to transfer money to people's accounts, just apply, put in your details, and let them pay you your money. And the only other challenge I have is it means that every Nigerian student who has taken that loan will have to sit up, because immediately after your youth service, your time starts counting. And that means that you are not going to just sleep and wait for a federal government job or a state government job, or somebody must employ you, because you must pay your loan. So that means that you now have to make sure you become somebody useful. You have to make sure you are worth the money, and you need to start paying back the loans. That's what I'm looking. The time frame to pay back that loan, I think, is too short. It is just too short. At least you should give them a long period, because they just left school, they just went to service. How much is their money in service? And they are not even in a comfortable environment. All the money they will get, some of them will still have to go and rent houses when they go for service. So how much are they going to have at the end of the day? So when will they balance after service? And immediately after service, say 2 years. I think the repayment plan is what we should look at. I'm confident that their disbursement system will be okay, but my own is the repayment plan. It should be something that will not now cause hardship or burden on the students. That's my own take on the issue.
Okay, so
I'll be honest with you. Yes. Okay, go ahead, Blessing.
I would say that on the repayment plan, when I read about it, I saw that it's after 2 years, like she said, it's 10% of your salary will be deducted by your employer and sent to them. Yes, that's what I saw, right? And the 2 years, like Princess said, is short. I know people who have been out of school for 5 years, who have served, and after 5 years, no job. Yeah, so in that case, what should they do? You understand? And then the loan, are there this thing in place? There are questions we really need to ask. How are we sure that some government officials will not corner this money by the back door? Nigeria, our identity system self is bad. Anybody can come into Nigeria and do national ID card. System is poor. Is really this people National Bureau of Statistics, even them themselves, all this time when I see that Nigeria has over 200 and that million people, I'm like, I was around which year when they were doing the census. Nobody came to my house. So I always make fun. I'm like, I'm not, when they call that number, I say, I'm not part of that number because I've never been counted, right? Our identity system is bad. How are we going to really do this? Make sure that these monies don't go through the back door, maybe by even bank officials or government officials, because this is Nigeria. They will definitely thief. Thieving in this country, corruption, they will pass through the back door and thief these monies. And those who are supposed to enjoy this money, the students who are supposed to enjoy this money, won't even get it. For me, like Princess said, the 2 years is small, is short. And when you even look at salary, how much is minimum wage? So from the 30,000, you now pay 10%. It's 20 in this economy.
It's not 30,000 they pay. 30,000 is minimum wage. That is the minimum. As a BSc graduate, you start you at level 8, and as HND, you started on level 7. So it's not 30,000 as a graduate that
That's
you
how much.
actually. It depends. It depends on the level. If you get a federal government job, if you get a state government job, then private people,
Okay.
they have their own setup. So it's actually
I,
not
That
30,000
is
per se.
key.
I
Yeah.
think the big question, sorry for interrupting. I think the big question here is it's not about getting a job or the money. The question is how long will it take a student upon graduation and passing out from service to secure a job, which the repayment loan time for the loan is 2 years. It is limited, like Princess stated, it is limited. The time frame is low because some persons have been out of school. In fact, I had a proper conversation with somebody who is now working under the government. It took him 10 years after school to secure that. Aside from that, he was doing his personal, what have you, just to sustain himself, which was not even up to. So, honestly, the whole idea of the loan is a perfect idea. I won't lie, it is perfect if you want to talk about it, it is perfect. But then the disadvantages that we have to look out there, does it outweigh the advantage of the loan? If it does, then it will not really curb the use, or it will not curb the reason why it was put in place in the first place. So that is my own take.
Anyway, Ruth, you are a student, and I know you're in school right now. So, how are the students embracing this?
Sorry, please come again.
I said, as a student, and of course, I know you're in school right now. How are other students taking this? Are they embracing this?
Okay, I won't lie to you. The students in general, they everybody has been surviving on their own. Maybe parents help or what have you, or some of them train themselves. And some persons get to see light in it, while the vast number of persons feel like it's another government scam, to be very honest. Some The vast number of students feel it's another government scam, and then it is tagged on the student body. So it feels like, okay, they're using the students as at this point to cash out. So that is the whole um talk and idea that has been circulated or hinged on this student loan as at the moment.
Well,
I,
anyway,
I think
your network is not very strong today, Ruth, but certainly we're going
I
to have
think
you and the president. Go ahead, Princess.
I think if the first set of beneficiaries collect their monies, it will give credence to the whole scheme. It will give credence to the whole scheme. Like when they brought up the other youth loan, women empowerment loan, different kind of loans and grants, and I knew, I was like, ah, these people have started again. But I saw people who have been collecting, who were collecting, and I saw them how their businesses were growing. I was like, okay, let me even see how the site works. And then when I saw the process, it was quite transparent enough, and I had seen people who had benefited from it. So I think it's just a general Nigerian mentality. Like everybody wants to cash out, and it's now we are the next set. But if they see that beneficiaries has come out of it, it will give credibility to the whole student loan
To
scheme.
the
But it's
scheme.
a new thing. It's a new thing. So let's take it as one step at a time. This is one new good thing. Let's take it first, and we'll start tackling it as it goes. Because if we don't do that, we're not looking at how to solve the challenges of 10 years, and we're not even enjoying the one of today. Let's take it first. And as we go on, when challenges come up, I'm sure we'll be able to sort it out, baby steps along the way.
Anyway, I want to agree with you, Princess. I want us to take this one day at a time. It's a good scheme, like we all know. We know also that in developed countries, for instance, in the UK, that has been in practice for years, where the government there will support you through your school, pay your bills and all that, just like what we're having now. And then when you start working, they start taking back your money. But like we know in Nigeria, my main problem here is actually data, the database, statistics, and all that. And so okay, kudos to our BVN, right? And so because of that, just maybe they are going to. But we know a lot of people as well that would work. A lot of people might opt, for business, because we know people in school that just want to go to school. This is Nigeria, I know it's not like the Western world where people go to school, they have passion for something. We have the one that even their parents, chose a particular course for them, and so when they graduate, they are facing somewhere else. But are we sure that the government is ready when we say we have the data, when we say we have the means? When you're giving them this money, are you sure that we're going to get back this money, even when you give them up to 5 years? And sometimes too, my question would be, are you not sure? I wanted to even ask Ruth before she leaves off this morning, because I know she's writing exam soon. Are you sure that the students will take, we actually, appreciate, take advantage of this, or they will take it for granted? Student now, you never can say I've been to school and I'm still schooling. So you know how it is when students, when something is has to do with students, you have different mixed reaction to it. But like Princess is saying, I really want us to give this a try as well. But if I were to be a student sincerely, I will not be part of it. That is just my sincere opinion here. I don't think I want to be part of a loan where after school, instead of me thinking, okay, I'm away from all school stress, I'll look for a job and live my life. At the end of the day, I'll not be thinking about one loan, giving me headache and sleepless night. Or you must get a job within a period of time when even the government that is giving you the loan is not providing the jobs. And so you have to think outside the box on how to get yourself a job or to get the money. And so if you want to be part of this student loan, that is my honest opinion. But Princess, our idol princess, say let's give it a try, so we give it a try. Anyway, thank you so much, Ruth, for being on the show today.
Yeah,
We're going
thank
to
you
have
so
you
much.
on the
I think before I finally get to leave, I would like to add something.
okay.
Yes, this loan, student loan plan, it's one that we look forward to. We'd want to see how it turns out and the rest. But also, as a means to help students repay, because you made mention of students having issues with not getting to pay back the loan and what have you. And then, mind you, this student loan is not for everybody, because most times when they're giving out loan, even those that their parents are well to do and can take care of their school fees and what have you, they just want to get involved in it because they feel like loan, okay, they will not ask me till this particular period of time, and then most of them don't use it for school, or most of them get to use it for what have you, or just spend it the way they choose to. So you may not get to tell the intention of one's heart or a student's heart, but in the long run, for the government to recover this money back, or make sure that this money that they invest in student loan does not go to waste, there should be a way of putting in place a remote job, so that students upon graduation and service, they can have a remote job where their database is in place and they can be able to pay back the loan. Because if there is no proper database, just the one from maybe after graduating, or the one from the NYSC camp, I don't think is there any other means the government has to track these students, or to know that, okay, this particular youth as at this point is working or is well to do. Because when I perused through the whole loan, this thing, the student loan and every other thing that comes with it, it stated that as a student, after 2 years, you are entitled to start paying off the loan. But then again, as an act of God, maybe you cannot pay off. Maybe let me assume an act of God. Maybe you're involved in an accident or whatsoever, or within the time frame, you can swear an affidavit that you've not been able to secure a job as at that given point, maybe 2 years after the NYC, then okay, you can be given a period of grace if you can swear an affidavit. But then, how is the proper means to checkmate this thing? Because if you state that after your NYC, 2 years afterwards, you're going to pay, some persons may just go to the court. Some people lie on affidavits. They do. They do. So I don't know which is the proper means to make sure that, okay, students are or graduates would actually pay off this loan. My own submission would be there should be a remote job. It's like you're owing the government. It's not, it's like you're actually owing the government for a loan which you use in school. And upon service and the rest, there should be a creation of a remote job whereby the government has your database and every other thing, and it's easy to deduct from your salary the 10% which you're supposed to pay. I don't know what's the payment plan like. I just said that, but that is a way to go in recovering the loan that is being given to students. But in all essence, stricto sensu, it's a welcome idea. But it's just our fear in the student community, I won't lie, is this whole process being hijacked. That is the greatest fear of the student community as we speak. It is something that it's done elsewhere, it's done abroad, and then people applaud the government for putting those things in place, and it's working. The system is working real fine. But then our fear is, will it work as well as it works abroad, or some officials will just hijack it, and then the purpose for which it was established will be defeated? Because that will really make us cry out loud. It really hurts the student community to know that, okay, after rejoicing that the government have put in place a student loan, we don't get benefits, or we cannot access it. In fact, like, I would even go with what Princess stated concerning the online means of verification and then getting the loan. Online is, to the best of my knowledge, based on what Princess say, it is secured, but then it has a disadvantage. It does have, because the online website, they get to hack. And this is students, most of them, they are well, they are broad when it comes to tech, when it comes to hacking. They know these things very well. So whatsoever it is, I just, we the student leaders, we clamor for it to be one that would be beneficial, and we get down to our students. Let it be student tell us that, okay, I was able to access the government loan, or we got the government loan, or you, when we get those and when we get those testimony from students that it is accessible to them, and they were able to get it, they could secure the loan, we'll be happy about the scheme. But at now, I will tell you, we are skeptical about it, but we hope for the better. Let's take these baby steps, like Princess outrightly said, and see how far we can go from here. Thank you.
Yes, we hope for the better. But just before we let you go, are there consequences for
Yes, yes,
people who?
I
Yes.
read
What are some
through.
of the consequences?
3 years imprisonment for defaulting payments. Let's say, for example, you could secure a job after 2 years upon service, and you are unable to pay back the loan. You'll be jailed for 3 years. I don't know if there is any financial consequences attached to it, but what I actually read up was a 3 years imprisonment for default.
Hmm. We do hope that students will make great use of this opportunity, and of course those one that don't actually need this money, they will stay far away from this this scheme. Those that don't
Honestly.
need it, those that go to club, that flex, that know that they don't need this money, they already even have people footing their bills or sponsoring them. They will still want to come, students now. I know. uh, Go ahead, princess.
I said those ones, if they go and they will go to jail. But there are actually some students who really need this money. There are some
That is
students,
true.
when they tell you how they are coming, you pity them. Like we did a story on some students from the IDP camp who were where the facility, the IDP facility, had to send 18 students to school looking for money. And as at year three, it's the story is on our page. As at year three, the boy said it was war for them. They had to be trekking. They leave their hostels by 5 a.m. so that they can make classes. So those kind of people, when they have access to this money, it helps them. It helps them. And right now, he's toughing it out. He graduated the best in his school at Edo University, Uzairi. He was the best graduating student. Imagine coming from such a background. He toughed it out. So if this kind of scheme is available, more people from indigent background will go to school. There are some that have parents that cannot even afford school. But with this kind of thing, it's hope. So for those ones that already have people that give them money and want to go and collect it, I think that 3 year jail term is.
Anyway, that's true, and I hope we know also that this scheme is going to some way or in one way or the other better our educational system. We have people who, like she said, that are actually going through a lot. I remember way back in school as well. One of my classmates then she actually grew up in the orphanage, and then she had to run out at some stage. She came to school and all that. So we do hope that sincerely that they will take this seriously, and then those that don't need it, they will stay away as well. Well, we have been on the show with Ruth Obianuju Joga. She's the vice president, National Association of Delta State Students, a lawyer. I call her a soon to be lawyer, or a lawyer. She'll be a
Soon
lawyer
to
soon.
be.
Let's not soon to be. She's a final year student, a law student at Brusali University, Ebuma. Thank you so much for being on the show today. We are super proud of you. Thanks for all you do, and thanks to your president as well.
All right, Ma, thank you so much for having me on the show. God bless
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway, Nigerian students, to be four one is to be four arm. How do you call it, princess? Please, if you know this loan is not for you, stay off. Because Tinubu Jagaban is
Seriously.
not somebody you want to play with. You will go to jail. and then don't come and call us Srtv to come and help you and beg, because we'll not beg for you. So we are happy also that students that have been going through stress, going through a lot, we actually have people that we don't have anyone to cater for them, people who are having, like for instance, I know of a young girl that the mother died, just like she was buried, I think like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago here, and she just gained admission into University of Port uh, the Uniport, and she's a law student, year one. So the mom passed after, like she went to school, like after 3 weeks the mother died, and it was the mother that was actually sponsoring her. And even before she went to school, there's this back and forth in her family that we don't have the money to see this girl to do this course, let her go to another school, let her go and learn trade. And it was only the mother that actually said no, she's going to struggle, she's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that this girl goes to school. And now after 3 weeks the mother died. So in situations like this, people like this, the loan could actually be of a great help to them. And so that is why we're applauding the government. It's a good thing, actually, it's a very good thing, but we hope that the whole thing is not hijacked, and the student also will not take it for granted. And of course the system, Nigeria now, the cliche or the mentality of it won't work, or they will start writing it off even before we even enjoying the scheme. So we do hope that somehow this will actually be a relief to some of the students that actually needed help, prompt help. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. That would be a good place to wrap up the show. Abuja and Edo State, thank you so much, Princess, for being here. It's been long I saw you, so seeing you today is like Christmas Day for me. So thank you for coming today. And Debbie and Blessy, thank you as well. Insecurity issues are actually topping it in Abuja now, Kaduna, even here too. So please, I want you guys to be careful, especially with one chance and all that. Please be very careful. And as we go out today, have a beautiful day. And like the saying as well, we always end the show with saying that I said something yesterday about flooding. The floods are coming. People are already dying. People are being displaced. You know. But today, like I said, I'm going to bring in the road safety people here, but I want to address the drivers. During rainy season, it's not everybody that can drive. I, for one, I can't drive, and a lot of people don't have wipers. They keep doing that thing. They bring out their hankies to wipe, and they're driving and all that. No side mirrors, please. We're entering into the rainy season gradually from this part. I don't know about other parts, so please, drivers and people, car owners, vehicle owners, please take cognizance of these things and know that your life is your don't put your life or others at risk. Please do the right thing, and as you go out today, obey traffic law, drive carefully, and of course put a smile on the face of somebody today. Help somebody. And once again, congratulations to more Abudu women doing great things. Support a woman today, support a man as well, and try and be a good person as you go out today. We'll see you again on the show tomorrow. Hopefully, don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, now X, and of course our YouTube. Subscribe to our page, hit on the notification bell, and leave us with your comments. We'd love to hear from you. I remain yours truly, Princess Cassie, and I'll see you again tomorrow, hopefully. Have a beautiful day.
Ooh la la! The second edition of the Nigerian Week London 2024 is here.
It's another blend of arts and culture, entertainment, business, and networking activities.
A week-long extravaganza showcasing the best of Nigerian music, dance, craft, fashion, and businesses.
Taking place at the prestigious Lighthouse Theatre, 262-274 Camberwell Road,